It's the Scotty Mars Show.
Hey, welcome to this week's edition of the Scotty Mars Show. I'm your host, Scotty Mars. I'm sure you could have pieced that one together. Thanks for checking us out wherever you're doing that, because there's tons of ways for you to find us. Of course, we're on the iTunes now, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio app, lots of places where you can check us out. So thanks for making us part of your weekly listening routine. And if you dig the show, give us a rating and review wherever you're listening to us. Definitely helps spread the word of the show. So thanks again for tuning in. Hopefully, as I said, you're having a great week, and it's been an interesting week. There's been some very odd news that has popped up over the last little while, and we're just going to get into it pretty much right away. Do you remember that boat a few years ago that they turned to the internet to name, and Bodie McBoatface was the one that was chosen by the internet? And then the people in charge of the project decided to ignore the contest that they had online to pick a name, and they went with the Sir David Attenborough instead. Well, they did name something Bodie McBoatface, a smaller boat, a little yellow autonomous submarine. And it turns out Bodie McBoatface is a star. His first mission 2 years ago involved traveling through 112 miles of some underwater valleys in Antarctica to measure things like currents and water temperature. And the findings of that mission were just published this week. I don't know what took them so long, but it turns out Bodie McBoatface made a massive discovery his first time out. That's like being a golfer and the first golf shot you ever hit, hole in one. Just like that. Scientists analyzed the data that old Bodie McBoatface brought back and figured out that strong winds have been creating more turbulence under the sea, and as a result, cold water is mixing with warmer water, and that is causing ocean temperatures to rise, which also contributes to rising sea levels. The researchers say it's a major discovery and could not have happened without Bodie McBoatface's help. So there you go. This is one of those times where a joke actually turned into something really cool. So congrats, Bodie McBoatface. Now, that wasn't the only weird kind of story I came across this week. Finally, it seems like we've turned the corner a little bit weather-wise, at least especially where I'm living. Where I am in Halifax, it has been nothing but rainy and gray. Now I know how people in Seattle and Vancouver feel, because it's been nothing but rain and gray, and finally we've had a little bit of a shift in weather, and it's starting to get warmer, and that leads to a new phenomenon that I did not know about, but I like this theory. It's called summer penis. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but summer penis is basically the theory that the warmer weather makes a dude's junk bigger. And there's a few scientific theories that have been loosely applied to this. So one, heat makes things expand. So just use your head. It's hot out, means your junk is warmer, means your junk is bigger. Another theory as to why you have summer penis, you're more active, and that gets your blood pumping, and that can make your junk look a little larger. Also, when it's warm, the blood vessels in your body are more relaxed, and extra blood flows and makes your junk a little longer and fuller. Also, in the heat, your testicles, they hang lower. If you find that you sit on your balls more in the summer, this is why. So when it's hot out, it can make everything down there look a little bigger because your testes are hanging lower. It's like when somebody has a lot of things hanging from their ear, and it looks a little bigger for a little point in time because things are stretching it out. Kind of a similar thing, except with your nuts. You know, just it's like they're actually hanging from the back of a truck this time. So that's the theory behind summer penis. Now, some urologists and sex experts are saying, you know, this is why you may think that your junk is getting bigger. It's actually not. this is all kind of in your head. So just think twice before you grab that banana hammock Speedo and put it on, because even though you feel like you're laying nice and that you're showing something that somebody is going to be really attracted to, it's still the same tiny little package you had in the winter. And trust me, I know, because when I look down, mine is still hibernating. A couple of criminals made news over the last week. One, OJ. I'm sure you've heard it by now. The Juice, OJ Simpson, has officially joined Twitter. And it did not take long for people to absolutely just let them know how they feel about him. I saw a lot of people tweeting at OJ, "You're a murderer, you're a monster. Why do you think it's okay that you're, putting yourself in the public eye? Just go away." Those types of things. And the thing that was weird, and if you haven't heard this yet, a lot of people were pointing out the video message that OJ was playing. OJ did a few video messages, one wishing everybody a happy Father's Day, which is just in absolute poor taste. I'm sure Ron Goldman didn't have a great Father's Day. And he's also just like, I'm going to be talking about fantasy football and all that. And every now and then I'm going to break from it. That was a lot of what he was talking about. But his opening message was a video message where he was saying like, hey, this is my only official Twitter. Any other OJ Twitter account is fake. And then he also said this.
Hey, Twitter world, this is yours truly. Now, coming soon to Twitter, you'll get to read all my thoughts and opinions on just about everything. So this should be a lot of fun. I got a little getting even to do. So God bless. Take care.
Now, here's the thing. If you're a dude that many people think committed a double murder and got away with it, and then you were thrown in jail for showing up somewhere with a firearm, you may not want to use the term, I got some getting even to do. It's just, I don't know, I don't want to say it comes across threatening, but it doesn't make people sleep easy. That's all I'm going to say. The only way that could have been a worse statement for OJ to make is if he said it in a kitchen while he was cutting up something for a salad. Then it would have been an even worse statement to say. But even on the golf course, OJ saying, I got some getting even to do, kind of sounds like the opening line to a horror movie. I'm just saying. And the other prisoner that was making some news this week is Bill Cosby. We actually found out a little bit of what the cause is doing while he's behind bars. He's conducting lectures in prison, and apparently they're quite popular among the inmates. He's basically been teaching and lecturing on what to do when you're getting out of jail. He's been doing this for up 3 months with up to 100 inmates per lecture, and he's encouraging them to lead by example for their kids. Says, of course, obviously stay out of prison in the future. He's urging them to rebond with their children as soon as they get out. He's working with a group called Man Up, which is made up of inmates set for parole. And these lectures, like I say, they include rebonding with your family tips, finding work post-prison, interviewing techniques, and staying clean. This is really weird because at one point, Cosby was considered like America's dad. So it makes sense that he would give all this advice. Now, he's a convicted rapist and still has dozens of other accusers from sexual assaults that span absolute decades. So I'm not sure that this is a guy that should be giving you family advice. I don't even know what he would say. When you get out of the prison, you want to rejoin your children. And if they don't go to sleep when you tell them to, you just give them a little pill. Now, I know that is the world's worst Bill Cosby impression, but I do have a feeling that is a pretty much accurate representation of the advice he may be giving in those lectures. Time for the off story of the week, the story that the headline just makes you scream, oh, for fuck's sakes. And this one is a doozy. Headline on this one is Man Sues Brewery that discounted pink beer for females on International Women's Day for gender discrimination and wins. The court thing, the fact that he won, that's not what makes me said, oh, for fuck's sakes. I mean, I can get maybe letter of the law. This may have been sexual discrimination. Again, by the letter of the law, the absolute black and white of it. However, this is one of those times where it's like, just shut the fuck up, dude. It literally, this company BrewDog, which was founded in the UK and they have a location in Columbus, Ohio, temporarily rebranded their flagship Punk IPA as Pink IPA for International Women's Day back in 2018. And then in doing so, they offered a 20% discount to women. They changed the beer's blue labels with pink ones, and they launched a social media campaign saying this is not beer for girls, it's beer for equality, and all those types of things. So they, offered ladies a little break on their beer on International Women's Day. So this guy, this Dr. Thomas Bauer, who went to BrewDog's Cardiff bar over in the UK to the Pink IPA, he was sold it at the regular price of £5 as opposed to the discounted £4 price. And he didn't like this, not one bit. And he had a bit of back and forth with the bartender. He said that he felt forced to identify as a female and was then given the drink for £4. I complained to the company about this, and they said it wasn't discrimination because the price difference was part of a national campaign to raise awareness about the gender pay gap, which is something we should all be aware of. He said he wasn't satisfied with that. He complained again, took them to court, and then he won, which, again, that's just the icing on this cake. He was awarded £1,000 in damages. Now, I will say, in this guy's defense, he donated half of the proceeds to a women's equal pay charity. He said, taking into account my costs and all that, he did do something positive with it, but I think only because it's such a douche thing to do. Honestly, okay, so they're running a little promo on International Women's Day for ladies. These types of things happen all the time. You just pay the difference. That's one of those things that maybe you say to your buddy, you're a little upset. You go, oh man, I had to pay a little bit extra today for my beer. Or actually, I just had to pay the normal price for my beer. I didn't get the discount. That's a bummer. Everybody likes to save money, but you don't take it to court. I'll give him the credit that he did something good with the money on the back end, but I think that's only because he felt bad. So the fact that this guy went to court over a 20% discount on International Women's Day, doffs. On to the geek news of the week. If you love Avengers Endgame, get your wallet out because you're going to get a chance to see it again a little differently. It's being re-released in theaters very soon. I don't have an exact date yet, but it's also going to include some new footage. It's not going to be a director's cut or an extended cut, but according to Kevin Feige, they are going to re-release the film very soon in theaters. And if you stay and watch the movie after the credits, there's going to be a deleted scene, a little tribute to Stan Lee, and he also says a few surprises. They're saying it includes about 7 minutes of bonus content and Stan Lee tribute. So here's the thing. I would imagine we're going to get this before Spider-Man Far From Home hits theaters, just because it would make sense to squeeze it in there. I like the Stan Lee tribute. That I'm all on board for. The man was a genius and gave us so much that he deserves all the tributes you can possibly give a man. However, this reeks of desperation from Marvel and Disney, because it looked like Avengers Endgame was running out of steam and was not going to be able to top Avatar for the worldwide box office record. That was until they decided to do this re-release, because there are so many diehards out there that must see this 7 extra minutes on the big screen that it's going to make a bunch more money. And probably, actually, I'm not even going to say probably, this is going to guarantee that it pushes it past Avatar. There's a little bit of dirty pool to get it there. Let's be honest. I want to see this extra footage. I definitely want to see the tribute to Stan Lee. I get all that. But where it looked like it was going to come oh so close to beating the record, but fall just short. Can you smell that in the air? That is the smell of desperation. I'm sorry. Sticking with Marvel, it was initially reported that Marvel was going to skip San Diego Comic-Con this year, and then a few other people came out and said they were going to skip it as well. DC not showing up, even though they have some pretty big films ready to see some footage from. You got Joker coming out in October, Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey flick in February, Wonder Woman next year. So it would make sense for DC to be there. They said they're not going. Now it appears Marvel could be showing up at San Diego Comic-Con this year and have a panel in the famed Hall H. Now, this is all just kind of speculation. Kevin Feige has been hinting that they're going to be at Comic-Con, and it'll be something to take note of. Not exactly sure what they will lay out. I have a feeling it might be a lot of focus on the TV shows they have in development, like the Winter Soldier and Falcon show, and those other ones that are spinning out of the Avengers, the Loki show. Those are the ones that I think will take the spotlight. But I wouldn't be shocked if they gave us a little glimpse into some of the upcoming films, like maybe even Black Panther 2, anything like that. That wouldn't surprise me. But the way they're being a little coy about not going, now they're going, I have a feeling that they changed their mind because they got something big to tell us. So San Diego Comic-Con just became a whole lot more interesting. Switching gears over to the world of DC, Shazam 2, we found out when it could start filming, and it is fast. Basically, according to Zachary Levi, they are looking at late spring, early summer next year to get the cameras rolling on the Shazam sequel. And at the same time, Black Adam now has a director, so The Rock is moving pretty quickly on development of that film. Not sure when we're going to get to see Shazam and Black Adam meet up on the big screen together, but it looks like we could get a lot of films in the Shazam world in a very short period of time, which, based on the first movie, I am all for, because that movie is fucking brilliant. Sticking with DC, the Hollywood Reporter and Morning Consult recently conducted a new poll to ask fans about the various Batman actors, trying to figure out which one was the most favorited Batman of all. And no surprise who came out in the top two. I'm amazed how close they were, though. Christian Bale won the poll with 39% of the vote. The numbers won't add up to 100 because it's how people rated their actors favorably. So it's whoever got the higher favorable reviews. Christian Bale, number one at 39%. Michael Keaton, number two at 38%. Those two would obviously be the top runners in my mind. I'm amazed they were that close. I actually thought Bale might have a bigger edge just because of how huge that Dark Knight trilogy was. George Clooney came in third with 19%. Clooney of the Batman and Robin movie. Now here's the thing. I actually think George Clooney could have been a great Batman. He just was given a shit script and shit direction. It wasn't his fault. He didn't have the stroke at that point in Hollywood to say, like, I am not whipping out a Bat credit card. Shut up. He didn't have that kind of power. I think Clooney could have been a really, this was dealt a raw deal there. At 18%, Ben Affleck, just ahead of Val Kilmer at 17%. So a couple things I want to comment on this poll. First off, Ben should be higher. Say what you will about the films. I, for one, enjoy them. But say what you will about Batman vs. Superman, Justice League. Ben was a very good Batman. Very good. He may have had the best balance out of anybody between Bruce Wayne and Batman. Because as much as I love Keaton, his Bruce Wayne at times, a little comical. You know, a little bit on the comedic side, which I don't, that's not how I picture Bruce Wayne. And Christian Bale definitely had Bruce Wayne down, especially in like Batman Begins and that. But the voice, which he cleared up a little bit, but the voice was kind of rough to get over. So, you know, even though they were fantastic Batmen, each had their own little problems. I think Affleck might have had the best balance between the three. And Kilmer, he wasn't terrible. He really wasn't. Again, not the strongest script of a movie, but, not that bad. And then the two things I'm curious, A, where the fuck's Adam West? I know that they deem this modern era Batman's, but Adam West, how is he not on this poll? He definitely should be on the poll. I'll tell you right now, he'd probably be right up there with Keaton and Bale. And then I don't know if they would include voice actors, but for a lot of us they should, because Kevin Conroy, that man's voice is Batman. You know, I think if he was on the poll, and I think he would have done very, very well. But just to leave Adam West off that is just, that's blasphemy. Come on. Adam West deserved much better than being left off the poll. So curiously, I'm going to throw up a poll on our Twitter and on our Facebook page, the Scotty Mars Show on Facebook, at Scotty Mars on Twitter. Who was your favorite Batman actor? I'll probably drop Clooney and Kilmer off the list and replace them with Adam West. So we'll go Bale, Keaton, Affleck, West. Cast your vote and let me know who takes the cowl for you. And something I can't believe hasn't already happened, there's a Twitter campaign out there now called A Star for Carrie. Basically, the Hollywood Walk of Fame has decided to remove Donald Trump's star on the Walk of Fame. And fans are saying, well, hey, since you're going to have this empty star there, why not make it one for Carrie Fisher? And in my head, she would have already had a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She's so deserving. I don't know that there's any type of online petition or anything like that, but we can at least show our support for this long overdue idea by tweeting with the hashtag A Star for Carrie. I think it must be done. It's embarrassing that it is not done already. Carrie Fisher is more deserving of a star on the Walk of Fame than some of the other people that are already there. So tweet it out. If I find a link to any type of online petition, I will tweet that out and put that up on the social media platforms. This needs to happen. The Hollywood Walk of Fame is not the Walk of Fame without the immortal Carrie Fisher. That'll do it for this week. Don't forget to follow us on all the social media platforms. The Scotty Mars Show on Facebook, at Scotty Mars on Twitter, The Scotty Mars Show on Instagram. Any thoughts, comments, questions, hit me up on any of those. I will gladly get back to you. And we also throw up some fun stuff there in between shows as well. So make sure you're following us there. And if you want to catch the show streaming, you can do so on blasttheradio.com Thursday mornings at 8:30 Eastern Time. Until we talk again, have a great week.